everybody and welcome to my second of 4 review episodes on the Total Drama reboot. My name is Silly Billy, but you can call me Billy. At this point I am about halfway through the show, and as such I feel like it's time to share some more accurate thoughts about what has happened in the show so far, who I like and who I don't like as much, and what my general opinion is on the reboot so far. If you haven't seen the previous review where I go over episode 1 to 3, I highly recommend you go watch that first. This video will be about episodes 4 through 7, so if you don't want to get spoiled, please turn away once the spoiler-free section has come to an end. I will let you know using the spoiler alarm from the previous episode. Also, if you're new to the Silly Billy channel, please consider sticking around by subscribing to the channel. There are a bunch more exciting videos on the horizon, and I would love for you to see them all. Also, if you are already subscribed, then make sure to also hit the little notification bell. I'm just letting you know because I also personally forget to hit that button, and then sometimes I miss out on some videos of my favorite YouTubers. So if you don't want the same thing to happen to you, then make sure to get notified of whenever one of them uploads. Alright, time to start the spoiler-free review. I am still very much invested in this new season. The cast of characters is absolutely great, and I feel like they hit it out of the park again when it comes to taking stereotypes as a base for a character and then letting them develop past their stereotype from there on out. It's something that I really appreciated about the original seasons, and it's something that has beautifully carried over into the reboot as well. It also makes me really excited for what the second season with this cast has to offer. By now we have lost quite a few characters, I'll tell you my opinion on them once we get to the spoiler review, and you can tell that there is still a lot of potential left for most of them. Action and World Tour also had this, where they took a good look at whoever went unutilized in Island and made sure they would be key players in the following seasons. I'm hoping that this will be true for the next season as well. That being said, the knowledge that we are getting a second season with this cast makes me not be as sad when they get eliminated. I think I would have been way more disappointed with the departure of a lot of the early boot characters if I didn't know whether a new season was happening or not. Of the 4 episodes I've seen for this video, I'd say 3 of them are really solid. And one of them really isn't solid. It's more so gas. Yeah, you'll get that joke if you've seen the show. And if you have a basic understanding of chemistry. Okay, moving on. While there is one particular episode that I really didn't like all that much, I actually don't mind my dislike for it all that much either. It actually provides me with some criticism, because so far it's been really hard to find any. The show is just incredibly good, which is a miracle for a 4th generation in the 8th project by this team, airing 15 years after the original. Usually at this point the creativity would have run dry, but that seems to be of no concern for the Total Drama writers. I touched on this in the previous episode as well, but what I think I like most at this point is that this season has such a good balance of realistic moments and cartoon logic. And they're not afraid to experiment with this either. In fact, there are multiple times in the show where the writers and characters acknowledge that what is happening makes absolutely no sense. My favorite joke is that during some point, a character is counting on her fingers to 5, but the Total Drama designs, like a lot of cartoons, only have 4-fingered hands. Except for this one scene where during the counting, this character suddenly gets a 5th finger. And rather than letting it slip or go unexplained, the character acknowledges it by being caught off guard by what just happened and looking at their hand like, wait, what? I loved every second of that. It was so good. If you're interested in my reactions, by the way, you can again follow the Mega Drive link in the description, which will have every single reaction I've done on the show so far, so that is episode 1 through 7. The challenges are fairly solid as well, although I do find it odd that I keep forgetting some of them. That may also be due to me having watched the other seasons countless of times, whereas I only have watched the episodes here once, maybe twice if you count me quickly editing the clips for that Mega Drive. It might also have to do with the fact that Total Drama 2023 doesn't really have a gimmick like the other seasons. 1 minute a challenge is just an exaggerated form of a Survivor-like challenge, and the other it has to do with things that are physically impossible. It's not that I dislike the challenges, because while watching them, I enjoy most of them pretty thoroughly. However, they just don't tend to stick all that well just yet. I might just need to watch the season 17 more times before I make a judgment on that. For now, I want to move on to spoilers, so hit the alarm! Okay, before I begin with the character tier list again, I want to get something off my chest real quick, which is that one bad episode. It's episode 5. Yeah, of course, which other episode was it gonna be? Let's get this out of the way. I don't mind fart jokes, when they're done properly. They really aren't all that bad as people make them out to be, and I feel like a lot of people have adapted other people's opinions and ravings about why they don't like fart jokes in the show, and are all now hyper alert to any fart joke, to the point that every single fart joke is considered a sin of God, and people go crazy for the fact that they just exist. Farts have always been a part of Total Drama, and for the most part I really don't mind them. They can be funny at times or just not get a reaction out of me, but I never really find myself being annoyed by a fart joke. That being said, the fart jokes in episode 5 are really bad. If you haven't seen it yet, or have forgotten which episode I talk about, the latter I highly doubt because it's hard to erase that from your memory, contestants are fed a healthy breakfast of baked beans and then have to navigate their way across the island while being stalked by 2 raptors. Yes, the dinosaurs. No, they don't explain why. Naturally, every single contestant begins farting because beans, and this remains for the entirety of the episode. And they go way too far with how they use these jokes. To give you some examples, Z has to hold Chase's buttocks together so he doesn't fart. Ripper uses Millie's pillow as a silencer. They make a Marilyn Monroe reference with Emma farting up her own dress. Millie teaches the other contestants of letting out a silent but deadly fart. Damien feeds one of the raptors an entire pan of baked beans whilst it is standing near an open fire, causing an atomic fart that blows up the entire dining area. All of these are real moments that really got written, approved, animated, and aired. Nobody stepped in to stop this. Even during the elimination ceremony, the dramatic highlight of an episode, they can't help themselves to interrupt Chris with a fart. Not once, not twice, no, 3 times. The episode loses a lot of tension because of it, and may be one of my least favorite episodes of all of Total Drama because of it. Not just of this season. And not because the episode itself is really bad. In fact, there's a lot of character moments I really love in this episode. But they all get overshadowed by the constant fart clouds that take away from this episode. The only moment when it actually helps the story is when Ripper accomplishes his world record dream for letting out the longest toot. And I think Millie sums up my thoughts best, as she says something along the likes of why she is unsure as to why she was rooting for Ripper to make that. It's just a really weird episode overall. Anyway, I just wanted to get that out there. Let's move on to the tier list. Alright, we are back at this tier list. I am first going to rank the characters that have already dropped out, and I'm going to begin by placing back the characters that we already had from the previous tier list because they haven't reappeared since. My opinion hasn't changed on them, so I'm not going to dive too deep into these characters. So I put Axel and Elemento because of the wasted potential, and then Caleb and Nichelle both got T because they never really got a chance to shine. Also, if you're wondering what the heck is going on with this, watch the April Fool's video I made this year. I think it was pretty fun, and it definitely explains why this tier list is the way that it is. But to explain, B is the best tier, Elemento is the worst tier. You don't want to be in tier Elemento. Alright, in between episodes 4 through 7, there are 5 characters dropping out, so I think we're going to start with them. Starting off, let's do them in the order of their elimination. Starting off with, oh man, it still hurts, with Scary Girl. She goes home in episode 4. I hated losing her. And she's going into B tier. Of course she's going into B tier. Last episode, I made a special tier for Scary Girl. That was more so for the joke. I do think she is one of the best characters of this new season, but, you know, just S tier is fine. I think they ended her storyline on the right moment. I really hope to see her in the next season, and I hope that she gets a little more story then. That would be great. Now she's just weird. I would hope that she is weird, but with a little twist. That would be so good. So yeah, Scary Girl sets the bar for what it means to be a good character. Also, moving up, I think Damien, which was the second character to drop out, he goes in episode 5. Last time I put him in B tier. Do I still feel that? No, I think X is fine. Damien hasn't necessarily dropped all that much, but he does drop a little bit towards the background, and then when he wants to get himself eliminated, he makes the Dave buttons. It's just something we've seen already. Executed far better, I should say. Far better, because, well, the other one was Dave, so of course it's not really a competition. But still, it's easy not to root for a character that doesn't root for themselves. And it's unfortunate that he started to believe in himself again at the episode that he gets eliminated. That's finally when they decide to eliminate him for real. Sure, it's a storyline. I hope that Damien gets to play a central role in the next season. I think Damien could win the next season. I am convinced that he has that potential. In which case, I am absolutely going to be rooting for Damien next season. He wants it now, give it to him. Just give him a nice storyline. He's really fun. Therefore, he takes X. Moving up, we lose MK in the episode after. I think Elemento tier is fine. I don't like MK. She's just not that fun. She's written as witty, but I don't really find her witty at all. She just comes over as a jerk. She's just mean to the other contestants for the sake of being mean, and then she meets her comeuppance when it is revealed that she may be going home, and you would think that it would kick off a different storyline for this character, but it really doesn't. Also, when Julia figures out that somebody uploaded her material, MK still really isn't all that fussed about it, which I thought was weird because I had a feeling that it might affect how she would play the game, but no, she just continues to taunt people and not do anything in the challenges. She doesn't want to help. I don't like MK. I'm glad she's gone. And then in episode 7, we lose not one, but 2 characters, and we lose the magical duo, Wayne and Raj, the hockey players. They're gone. Where am I gonna rank them? I think Wayne was already an X, and I think that is a perfectly fine place for him to be. Wayne is just a lot of fun. I really enjoyed Wayne, and I think, why not? Let's put Raj there as well. It just makes sense to have the 2 of them together because they basically share the same brain cell. Raj gets to have this little development with Bowie, which sets the 2 apart, which I quite like. People were expecting them to be a couple together, and there is definitely bromance in the air with these 2, but I like them as friends, and I like that they didn't go for the easy option where the 2 best buds would become romantic lovers, because, well, 1, you can be friends without becoming romantically interested in each other. Wayne seems to have no romantic interest in Raj, or vice versa, but they are madly in love with each other, if you get what I'm saying. And now it sets the 2 apart a little bit. Raj gets to do his little own thing without Wayne. Katie and Sadie also had this a little bit where Sadie kept in the game after Katie's elimination, but then Sadie really doesn't do anything, and at that point she could have basically just get eliminated alongside Katie. It wouldn't have made a difference. With these guys, I think it's too bad to see them go together. I hope in the next season we will get a little bit more screen time of one of the 2 while the other is already gone. But for now, I think their placement makes sense. It's a shame that we had to lose them in this way. I hated seeing them go. Okay, so 8 more characters are still left in the game, and I am going to start with, well, I think they're in a fine order, maybe. I'll just do it random. Eeny, meeny, mighty, Emma. Emma. I believe she was in Q tier last time. Let's put her in X. Emma's pretty fun. I like her chaotic energy. I like that she rekindled with Chase a little bit. I understand this character. I have a good giggle about her. She's really good. Yeah, X tier is fine. Then, Eeny, meeny, mighty, Chase. Well, I've seen some things on the internet. Not spoilers. But people seem to hate Chase. And I don't get it. Not yet. I feel like something terrible is about to happen that is going to make me hate this character a whole lot more. But for now, I think he's quite fun. He's just completely oblivious. He's good with the bros. I quite like him. I think they are pretty funny together. I liked his interactions with Julia. Just the way that he's completely oblivious to her actual plans, but then they actually work out in the way that Julia presents it to. And Chase and Emma are back together, and yeah, I just quite like them so far. X tier is fine. We'll see if he drops down a lot. Doing Millie next. Millie is still in Q tier. I think that's a fine placement for the character. I like that she's a little selfish, and she doesn't seem to be interested in Priya's friendship all too much. She likes being friends, but her and Priya clash, which I think is nice. It's something that we don't get to witness a whole lot on the show, and you can see that Priya gets annoyed with Millie sometimes, and Millie gets annoyed with Priya sometimes. They both don't really express it to the other, which leads to some funny and sometimes a little annoying moments, but for now I really like it. Millie herself, not the biggest fan, but also definitely not against her. Let's see what is going to happen with this character. Same actually goes for Priya. I kind of talked about both of these characters now. Priya is fine. I just hope that she isn't the Sky of this season or the Zoe of this season. The same character again. I like Priya more than Sky. I don't necessarily like her more than Zoe because I just think Zoe is really cute. Not in that way, you pervert. Priya is better as a flawed character, which is why she isn't in T tier. If she wouldn't have the flaws that she has right now, she would definitely be in T or in LMLO. It would just be Sky again. I like that this character is pretty strong, but not the best in social interactions, and I hope that this remains. I'm not too sure what to think about this character just yet. I'll need to see a couple more episodes Maybe she's going home in the next one. I don't really know. I don't think so. I think Priya's here for the long run. Z, still in S tier. Well, it's not S tier, it's B tier. I'm getting confused by my own tier list. Z is just really fun. The stoner energy, I love it. They do a lot of good jokes with the fact that he only has one leg. They do a lot of good jokes with his personality. He's incredibly head in the sky. Just everything about this man is goofy, and I love it. He's silly. I like silly, if you couldn't tell. Bowie, going to drop you to X tier. Bowie's still absolutely great, and I'm fully expecting Bowie to be here again in the next time that we rank this. But for now, Bowie was just a little bit on the background. And I get it, because other characters need the screen time too. But, you know, I didn't really feel it for Bowie these last few episodes. He wasn't as great as he was in the first 3 episodes. And there it was more so the shock that he was probably going to be the villain. But now that shock has passed, and now he's just really fun. And that's why he goes in X tier. We have 2 characters left, going with my biggest surprise last. So I think Julia goes next. No, that's not my biggest surprise. I liked the twist of Julia, but she did get a little more bland because of it. Like, sassy queen girl. We've seen a character like this before, whereas her original personality was a little more, well, original, I think. But sure, let's put her in X tier because Julia's really fun. I like it. I like seeing her being this sassy queen, and I'm curious what it has for repercussions for the next couple of episode. Plus, she got MK eliminated, which I'm very happy that she did. And then we have Ripper. Where are you going to put Ripper? Because I kind of like Ripper to the point that I'm actually kind of rooting for him. It's weird. The guy that makes the fart jokes, I'm rooting for him. Why? Well, I did root for Owen in the first season, but like now I'm a mature man. Well, apparently not. Is he going in X? No, screw it. He goes in B. Ripper's great. I love Ripper. Just what I like most about Ripper is that he isn't condensed to the farting stereotype one-off joke character. He gets a little development. I love it. I love seeing it. Is Ripper going to stay in B tier? Probably not. Probably is going to drop down 1 tier in the next. But because I know that I'm going to make 4 of these, I can make little deviations here and there. And that little deviation in this time is, you know, if Ripper wants to take the spotlight and be the character that you want to root for in certain situations, then, hey, you know, I'm going to root for you. I'm going to put you in B tier. I don't think Ripper's going to win. I think I don't want to see him win either. Yeah, I just have a lot of fun. So, who do I think is going to win? There's 8 characters left. 2 of them are in the finale, I presume. I'm not quite sure who. I hope Z is one of them. Z seems like the perfect fit for a goofy winner, and then we need a serious winner for contrast, and I think maybe Priya, although I hope it's not Priya, because, well, Priya doesn't want to win, she just wants to be here for her parents, but I think it's the vanilla option to go for, if you get what I'm saying. Priya being in the finale is just a very, very bland, logical conclusion for her story. And I hate that that is the case. But hey, you know, I thought that the best friends were certain to be in the finale of the Redonkulus race, and they weren't. So maybe I'm going to be surprised. Z in the finale I would love to see. If he isn't, then I hope he's the first to go next. Because if he goes next, then maybe there's still a chance that he wins the next season. So either let him win this season or the one after that. That would be great. Though I also kind of promised Damien that spot. Well, we'll see. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Once again, please consider subscribing to the Silly Billy channel and hitting the little notification bell if you don't want to miss out. I'm going away right now. I'm going to edit this, and then I think I'm going to have a little nap. I don't know why I'm telling you this. Maybe because I like telling you stuff. I like telling you about myself. Have you noticed? That's maybe a part of why I have a YouTube channel. I don't know where I'm going with this bit. So maybe I should just make a random sound and then say how do. Okay, let's do that. This has been Silly Billy, and remember, Schlunky Bunk. Howdo!